Alright, welcome to another video. I just want to talk about what I think you should be doing this summer to position your gallery in the best way possible for the start of the next European season. First thing, it's very obvious, right? At least it is for me. Go out and buy as many cars as you can in the European season that are ending. So I think now is, absolutely the perfect time to buy cards. And I appreciate everyone's not just got ETH sitting there ready to go. So, just for example, if you do have some American players and Asia players, which are good performers, but aren't really going to put you on the podium, aren't competing for stars and tier ones every week, maybe it's time to get rid of them, because ultimately, if you are just trying to profit, right, now will be a great time to flip from those into the European cards, make a capital gain profit on them, and that will probably outweigh what you could win in the short term if you're not a high performing, top superstar American or Asia player, really. I just want to show you an example here of Toni Kroos, what happened to him last season. Obviously, we're looking at rare cards because we didn't have limited cards last season. So you can see he went for, £500 to £1,000 between April and June, which is where we are now, obviously. And as time goes on, by the time you get to September, he's already in the £2,200. So that's, 2x or 4x, depending where you want to take your kind of starting point from. The higher performers are obviously going to get more demand, so it's going to drive prices up further. That's why I'm picking on these big players. And you got to remember, Toni Kroos had, the Euros last season, so he had extra utility, which pumped up his price in the off season. So if you look at someone like Neymar, who, for obvious reasons wasn't at the Euros, lows of £600. By the time you got to August, September time, right, he's up to, £6,000. And obviously this is whilst user base is absolutely booming, as it has pretty much all year, right? And I see no reason why this can't happen again. If we do get the Premier League, I can imagine this, but happening with limited cards now, and to an even further degree. It will obviously happen to every card on the platform. I'm just saying, there'll be so much demand for limited as new users will probably start with the cheapest, most available options. Back to Toni Kroos here. I just want to talk about, the prices where he was. So he was at £1,500. He's currently going for £367. So it just shows, these moves have been made already, and people, I think the last bottom for European cards was in June, but as more people know that the bottom's coming in June, the earlier it shifts and the bottom happens earlier. We saw it in American and Asia cards this summer, or this winter, I guess. But yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is don't try and wait for the bottom. If cards are at a good price, go and get them now. If there was no user growth, I still think you'd see a 25 to 50% movement in player prices, because people are, it is entertainment at the end of the day. They want to have as much fun as possible. A lot of people will be transferring from European cards to American and Asia cards just for the fun of it. So if you are there for strictly financial purposes, I would be moving to European cards as soon as you can. And the way in which to do that isn't really clear, so I'm just going to take you, through a couple of examples, and hopefully you can bring up with some of your own ideas on, players a little bit about, which you think could be substantial. So obviously I've won Quinton Merlin here, but I have absolutely no indication of why I'd be selling him. The reason for that is that Nantes are losing a lot of key players. I basically think next season he's going to have more of a key role, and he will, push up further in price. Kyogo, I'm a Celtic fan. There's not too much more to say on that. David Martinez might look like a weird acquisition, a River Plate top performing defender. This is what I was saying very, very much at the start, where it's like, if you haven't got that team which you think can podium. I've got, Julian Alvarez, Enzo Fernandez. I really think my under 23s for summer could be something special where, I'm consistently hitting high rewards. So I've taken the plunge. I've taken that extra risk where, I'm really going to go for it this summer and hope for the best. This isn't going to be for everyone, so that's just a little disclaimer. But, you have someone here like Brandon Aronson, slightly injured at the moment, so probably is at his lowest he will be. £70, right, for an under 23 high performing player with potential World Cup utility in, one of the best teams on Sorare, which is obviously Salzburg. For me, a no-brainer, right? This is the most expensive division, the under 23 division, and now if you couldn't get in it before, I think now is the perfect time. And even goalkeepers are always a stumbling block. But, Maja Okoye here, he's already made a move to Watford. And then thinking about it, I think Watford are almost guaranteed to go down in the Premier League. There's a chance they don't, but, look at the table yourself and make your own judgments. So if he does move down to the Premier League, their keepers will be their starting keeper of Ben Foster or, Okoye here. And for me, it makes so much more sense to play, the person that isn't 39 years old and give the youngster a chance. It's not guaranteed, but, for me, it's in the 75 to 80% chance of happening. So So if that does happen, right, his price is much closer to £1,000 for a goalkeeper in the Championship, because A, Watford should be dominant, and B, they have about 100 games a season, so there's so much extra utility you can get there. I think there's some great prices there. Leo Grimel, he's basically £28 for a 19 to 20-year-old defender. He's made a move to Schalke, who still need to get promoted, but I'm happy to take the risk on that, because I think once he gets that move, if Schalke do go up and he's playing in Champion Europe, there'll be so much more attention on him to take that next step and really be a high performer, where I think his price will go up. I think he'll put relatively decent scores in, and I'm happy. Next up, we have Julian Agrazubliaza. Absolutely no idea how to say this name, but I have a gallery size where I can take these punts on players that aren't playing, and I think if you can do the extra research and you are really confident in your decisions, you can have a go at doing the same thing. So basically, if we think about some of the top goalkeepers in Europe right now that aren't at the best clubs, for me it's Atletico Bilbao. You can see Unai Simon here. He is pretty much one of the best performing goalkeepers not at a top club. What my thinking is here is that if someone's in for a goalkeeper this summer, Unai Simon's probably top of the list. He's keeping De Gea out of the Spain squad. Not sure if he will for the World Cup, but that's the kind of level he's at. So he's top of the list for any goalkeeper. They're going to need a backup. Of course they could sign someone else, but if the potential of Julian here, he's so highly regarded. I pretty much expect him to get the spot if he does move. Alternatively, he might not be happy on the bench. He might want to, make a move to a Challenger Europe side to build up his own game time. So yeah, it's a move I'm happy to make. And ultimately, if he doesn't get a move, I'm happy just to, sit on him and accept a little loss. If he's not playing now and he's going for £75, what we do when he's not playing in 3 months' time, who knows? He could stay at the same price. So for me, it's a very low risk strategy, even though it does seem high risk. And if it doesn't take away anything from, your teams you're putting out, no brainer for me. There's so many goalkeepers like that. I've specifically chosen under 23 goalkeeper because they have the most upsides if they do make a move. So yeah. Pretty much the same thing here, but with a non-starting player. We got Albion Ajeti from Celtic. I'm pretty sure, being a Celtic fan, I like to think I know the most about them, and I'm pretty sure he'll make a move, probably to a Swiss club this summer. So it's like, for the sake of £5-6, I think he will be a perfect pickup on a budget where it's like, if he gets guaranteed start, if he gets a move, the hype around that, he's going to be double in price, he's going to be triple in price. Very easy to just transition out without even playing a game, without having to see if he hits the ground running. And that is one thing I want to say. Last year I took too much of a risk holding on to players, and they've got to move in transfers where if someone is making a move, right, regardless of whether you think it's good or bad, it is a very high risk change of situations. A perfect example for me is Messi. I thought Messi from Barcelona to PSG, better squad, better scores, going to be about hundreds every week. And it doesn't happen like that. There is this kind of transitioning period for all players. Of course, some hit the ground running immediately, but all I'm trying to say here is, if they are making a transfer, make sure you understand that's higher risk. And personally, I'm going to be trying offloading as many as I can that do make a transfer. Okay, so when should you be selling your cards after summer? If you're not looking to play with them and perform with them every week, you're just looking for that capital gain. You're looking to make that profit. I personally would try and get rid of them before the new supply comes out. It's very simple in the fact, more supply, same demand, prices go down slightly. Obviously, we don't really know when the card mints are going to be, but you can make educated guesses. So, how long did it take the other clubs to get on boarded? How long did it take other leagues to get on boarded? And then the longer time goes on, the more risk you're taking. For me, Sorare said they want to get cards out, 2 weeks after the new season cards are available. So 2 weeks after the new leagues are available. But I've never really seen them hit that deadline. Obviously, if they bring more users on, bring more staff on board, they might start hitting these deadlines. But for me, the perfect time to offload is 3 weeks after the start of the season. That's all I want to say. I hope this helps someone, and if it did, please leave a like on the video. Please leave a comment below and subscribe. This is the perfect time for me. It's the greatest opportunity I think you get on Sorare. So all the best to you.